Hey guys, today we're going to talk about what do I play. We're going to start off 2025 playing some Gregory M. Smith games that I own but haven't got to the table yet. So I'm going to need your help to figure out which of these four games that I'm going to play to start off the year with. Now, we can play either a single game or the campaign. I would prefer to play the campaign, to be honest with you. But we've got Western Front Ace we're going to look at. Zeppelin Raider, which is an inside favorite of mine. I've been dying to play that game. Silent Victory. Now, you may know I did pick up the Hunters at San Diego Histicon, but because my father was in the U.S. Navy and grew up in the Bay Area on the West Coast, kind of leaning towards the Pacific. So Silent Victory there. And then American Tank Ace, which is a very interesting game. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to play. I just picked that up recently as well. So I want to dive into one of these four. I have not got any of them on the table yet. And it's going to be the first game that I'm going to play in 2025. And like I said, I would prefer to play it as a campaign, but leave in the comments, you want to see me just play a single mission of these games, or do you want to see me play a full campaign? So with that in mind, let's dive into these and give a little bit of a preview. Oh, and I'm going to put a poll up on the community tab in the on the channel, and I'm going to keep it active until the end of January, which is when we'll decide which of these games that we're going to get to the table. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to check this out. I do appreciate it. And let's dive in with a quick preview of each of the games. So the first game we're going to talk about is American Tank Ace, 1944, 1945. It's got beautiful cover art by Matt White. I love this. Looks very, very cool. So this is a solitaire tank combat game, obviously by Gregory Smith, excuse me. And I got some of the components laid out here. It's got a complexity of 4 out of 10. Both the time scale and the map scale are kind of abstracted, which kind of makes sense. And single missions take between 10 to 15 minutes. A full career can take 4 to 5 hours. So let me know in the comments if you want to just see me play a single mission or play a campaign. If we play a campaign, I'm probably going to shoot about 5 videos, and there might be summations in there, some actual gameplay, and then maybe some after-action reports, depending, because doing the math on that, if it's 15 minutes for a single mission and 5 hours, that's 20 odd missions. So that stuff adds up pretty quickly. The idea would be we'd start off with the M4, and there's different versions of the M4 that you can play. And actually it does have an M26 Pershing, but we would start with the M4 Sherman and play that. Again, that's American Tank Ace. All right, next game we're going to look at is Silent Victory, U.S. Submarines in the Pacific, 1941 to 1945. As I mentioned in the intro, I kind of have a leaning towards the U.S. Navy during World War II in the Pacific. Now, this game says it takes 2 to 3 hours to play. Low to moderate complexity. And what I envision is probably playing the Gatto class out of Pearl Harbor. That just seems iconic to me. And one of the cool things about this game is it actually has ships that were sunk during World War II as potential targets. So it really does dive into some of the history. So this would be a very fun game to play. My understanding is it's very similar to Hunters, which, as I mentioned, I just recently picked up, but I've not got either to the table yet. I will say I have played around with this a little bit, just trying to learn the rules. And so this is one that sooner or later will get to my table. Yeah, 720 named historical ship targets with tonnage, including 20 capital ships. I think that's very, very cool. This one is just begging to be played as a campaign. But either way, I'll play it either as a single mission or as a campaign. Here are some of the components that you're going to get. This is basically your play map. Again, we would start off in Pearl Harbor. And here you got your various classes of submarines. And there's the Gato class, which is the one I'd probably play. Anyway, these are some of the components that you're going to get. The rule book, pretty straightforward. It is triple column, a little small on the font. Total of 28 pages. And again, guys, that's Silent Victory, U.S. Submarines in the Pacific, 1941 to 1945. Let's take a look at Zeppelin Raider, Imperial German Naval Airships, 2nd edition. As I mentioned in the intro, this is kind of an inside favorite of mine to win this poll, although it's not my favorite. We'll get to that one in a minute. But this just very much intrigues me. It always has. Growing up, we used to see blimps. It was a normal occurrence at sporting events, and I would go down to the Naval Air Station occasionally and watch some blimps take off and land, which always intrigued me as a kid. So there is a soft spot in my heart for blimps and Zeppelins in general. But let's just take a look at what we got here. Complexity is medium. Time scale, 1 day per mission, 3 missions a month. The maps are abstract. We'll take a look at those in a second. And average play time, 2 to 3 hours. So here's kind of your Zeppelin. Well, not kind of, this is your Zeppelin, with all the various statistics that you're going to keep on it. And there's multiple class of Zeppelins. Now, I don't have a favorite here. This is all new to me. But what I will show you is in the rule book, you can go and deal with Africa. And again, this is World War I. I didn't even know this existed until I got this game. And that's one of the beauties of these historical war games, is learning about conflicts and things in history that maybe you never knew about. So if this does get selected and we are playing the campaign version, I will be playing it in Africa, just because I want to do something slightly different than what you normally do. If we just do the one mission, we'll play the first mission here, which is a recreation of a historical mission, which is very interesting unto itself. This is your basic map. If you're dealing with running missions over the United Kingdom, and there's a special one, again, for the African campaign. Very nice. So that's Zeppelin Raiders. I'm giving you just a quick overview, guys. When we get into the games and we start playing them, I'll do a little more detailed first look, unboxing, whatever you want to call it. We'll dive into all the components as we play the game. Now let's take a look at our final entry, and one that is near and dear to me. As many of you who know me know that I really do love World War I air combat and the whole history around it. And so I have kind of messed around with this game. I haven't actually played it other than just going through the rules and trying to understand how the mechanics and things like that work. But this is probably, of the 4 games, the one that's got the most content. Just the sheer number of aircraft. I mean, you look at this right here. SPAD, 3 aircraft. Newport, 8 aircraft. Fokker, 4. Sopwith, 6. Albatross, 4. What did he just play? PFALZ, false, 3. Anyway, without slaughtering too many of these. Medium complexity. Average playtime, 15 minutes per sortie. Again, I'd want to play this as a campaign. And I'd probably play as a German, because I want to just pretend to fly an Albatross. Just something about the lines on that aircraft. It's one of my favorite World War I aircraft, is the Albatross. Any of the Ds, the D1, D2, D3. I won't get into the technical differences between them, but just the whole aircraft, again, just the lines on it, just everything about it, maybe even the name. I don't know, but that's what I would do. So like with many of the games, you're going to have kind of your pilot character sheet where you put all your medals and skills and whatnot. And then here's your typical aircraft sheet. Orientation against the enemy, damage, weapons, skills, and such. And again, there's quite a few of these sheets in the game of these aircraft. Albatross D1, that would probably be our starting aircraft. Anyway, guys, that is Western Front Ace. So if you don't mind, go to the community tab on the channel, select which one you'd like to see me play, and then leave a comment whether you just want to see a single mission or a campaign. I appreciate you taking time to watch what I do, as always. I'll leave the poll up till January, end of January. And until the next one, goodbye for now.